Saturday the 25th of May. It's just gone 6 o'clock and welcome to our Saturday evening news programme. And in the news this week, as the sun graces our beautiful country, it's time to find that picnic blanket, enjoy the great outdoors. But before you reach out for that disposable barbecue, consider this: they're not only a fire hazard, but also contribute to single-use waste. Now that's the message from Litter Free Dorset, who are urging everyone to make a simple choice this summer: ditch the disposable barbecue and opt for a picnic instead. So, why does Litter Free Dorset think we should say no to disposable barbecues? Well, first of all, the fire risk. If it's not disposed of correctly, they pose a significant fire risk. In May 2020, just a couple of barbecues torched an area equivalent to over 200 football pitches in Wareham Forest. And obviously all the wildlife, community and climate that a fire like that affects. Of course, then there's this single-use waste. Disposable barbecues contribute to the growing pile of waste. Sent to incinerators. As a society, we can all do better to reduce single use, and say no to disposable barbecues is a simple way to reduce our carbon footprint. They're a recycling nightmare, they say. Ever tried recycling a disposable barbecue? There are 7 pieces to contend with: the foil tray, charcoal briquettes, lighter fluid paper, metal grill sheet, colour paper sheet, cardboard tray and soft plastic packaging. Even if you manage to cool it down from 400 degrees C before dismantling it, they say it is no picnic. So, Litter Free Dorset's message this year is simple: save the mess and choose a picnic instead. And they're also urging supermarkets to remove disposable barbecues from the shelves alongside national campaigns run by organisations such as Keep Britain Tidy. Now, if you want to learn more about Litter Free Dorset and their campaign, you can pop along to their website at www.litterfreedorset.co.uk. Now, Dorset Police is working with the NHS, social care providers and other partnership agencies to ensure people in crisis are responded to and supported by the appropriate agency in a timely manner so they receive the best care. The partnership falls within the principles of Right Care, Right Person, or RCRP for short, and is being adopted in areas across the country after a successful trial in Humberside. In Dorset, it's being introduced in 4 phases, with the first phase relating to concern for welfare cause, which is now live in the county. Right Care, Right Person will not stop Dorset Police's immediate response to attend incidents where there is a threat to life. Every call to police control room is assessed using the National College of Policing RCRP decision-making toolkit, and this ensures officers are supporting partners appropriately and improving the response to core policing responsibilities such as preventing and detecting crime. Now, Jenny Douglas-Todd, who's chair of our Dorset Integrated Care System, said mental health is as important as physical health, and as such we should be ensuring the right care is available when people need support. The Right Care, Right Person approach will mean that people who may otherwise seek help from Dorset Police in times of crisis are directed to a more appropriate service. Subsequent phases of RCRP will include ensuring a better partnership operating model to respond to patients walking out of health or social care facilities, detention under Section 136 of the Mental Health Act, and transporting patients to hospital and secure facilities. Now, if you, a friend or a loved one requires mental health support, you can access a range of services from the Dorset Healthcare as part of Access Mental Health Dorset. And you can find out all the information about their services on dorsethealthcare.nhs.uk. Now, they run a 24/7 helpline which is open to all ages called Connection, and any resident in Dorset can ring that at any time, day or night. The number is 0800 652 0190. That's 0800 652 0190, or of course you can always ring NHS 111. Now, anyone concerned about the immediate safety of a loved one should continue to call Dorset Police on 999 or 101, and they will help you get the right response. Now, patient and staff at Dorset Hospitals met the Secretary of State for Health and Social Care, Victoria Atkins MP, when she visited the county. The Health Secretary, who was appointed to the post in November last year, started a tour of the South West with a visit to Dorset Healthcare and Dorset County Hospital sites. Following her first stop at Westminster Memorial Hospital in Shaftesbury, the Secretary of State's next stop was Dorset County Hospital and their new outpatient assessment centre in South Walks House in Dorchester. The centre opened in February and includes a treatment suite, diagnostic facilities such as X-ray and ultrasound equipment, and clinic rooms to help reduce waiting times for patients. Her final visit was to the construction site of Dorset County Hospital's new emergency department and critical care unit, which is part of the government's new hospital programme. She was able to see the progress of the enabling works that are underway on the former Damer School site and review the plans for the new building, which is due to open in 2027. Matthew Bryant, who's Chief Executive of Dorset Healthcare and Dorset County Hospital, said it was a real pleasure to welcome the Secretary of State and to showcase the great work being done in Dorset. I was extremely proud to be alongside colleagues highlighting the many ways in which we are making a difference for patients by working in partnership across mental and physical health and with primary care and members of our community. We are doing innovative work which is making a real difference for patients and colleagues, and it was great to have the opportunity to showcase some of this with partners and patients and talk about the challenges we are facing. Now, a ceremony to mark US Memorial Day will be hosted by the Mayor of Weymouth, Councillor John Orell, this coming bank holiday. That's Monday, the 27th of May. Members of the public are welcome to attend this short wreath-laying service at 11 a.m. at the US Memorial on the seafront. Councillor John Orell, who's the new Mayor of Weymouth, said, "I feel delighted to host this special event which recognises the many thousands of US personnel who left Weymouth Harbour for D-Day in 1944. This year's celebration is particularly poignant as it occurs just ahead of the 80th anniversary of D-Day. This milestone anniversary provides us with an important opportunity to reflect on the immense courage and determination displayed by the troops who participated in the Normandy landings." The US Memorial is located on the promenade adjacent to the Royal Hotel and was unveiled on the 3rd of December 1947. It was rededicated in June 1999 and further renovation work was carried out in 2012 by local stonemasons. At the US Memorial there is a heartwarming message attached to a photo of a couple who married just before the US soldier went off to France and was injured on Omaha Beach. It shows the happy couple, Weymouth cinema usherette Doris Mockridge and Private Ernest Webster of the United States 1st Infantry Division, and this touching story encapsulates the personnel sacrifices and enduring love that characterised this period. Now, the Woodland Trust is urging gardeners not to buy Rhododendron ponticum this spring, as it looks to stem the threat of deadly tree disease and protect our native wildlife. The popular plant may look nice, but not only can it carry disease, it is known as an invasive species, which can wipe out huge swathes of native woodland plants, and is particularly troublesome in our rare temperate rainforests, and costs the country millions a year to tackle. The Woodland Trust alone spent £360,000 over the past year on invasive plant control, which includes removing rhododendron, which spreads fast and crowds out other plants. It's a time-consuming, painstaking process to remove them by the root. Imported rhododendron plants carry a strong risk of arriving with the deadly disease Pythora ramorium. I've probably said that completely wrong, but that was my attempt at it, which can be fatal to more than 150 plant species. In the UK, the control programme for this disease has resulted in large-scale felling of larch plantations, which harms our timber industry. Now, Rebecca Gosling is a tree disease expert at the Woodland Trust, and she says more should be done to tackle the threat of Rhododendron ponticum, including action from the government. She said Rhododendron ponticum is a real problem for the UK's native plants and trees. It is choking native woodland and shading out characteristic plants, including in important temperate rainforests, which cover just 1% of land in the UK. Action must be taken to protect further species and habitats from the same fate. A failure to get a grip on these and the pressure this places on struggling wildlife populations will also make it harder to meet nature recovery targets and halt the decline in species abundance by 2030. And the Trust is asking public, therefore, to help protect native wildlife by not buying and not planting the Rhododendron ponticum. Now, officers from Dorset Police are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward after a man was assaulted in Weymouth. Dorset Police received a report at 10:22 p.m. on Thursday the 16th of May that a man had been assaulted outside Tesco Express in St Thomas Street, Weymouth. The victim, aged in his 30s, sustained facial injuries that are not believed to be serious. The offender was part of a group and they made off into School Street following the incident. Police Constable Rennie Marquis of Weymouth Police said, "I understand there may have been a number of people in the area at the time, and I would ask that any witnesses who have not already spoken to police to please get in touch. I would also urge anyone with information about who is responsible to please come forward." As usual, you can contact Dorset Police on 101 or anonymously via the Crime Stoppers charity by calling free phone 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Now, staying with Dorset Police. Dorset Police has been taking part in a national campaign called Operation Sceptre. And this is about raising awareness around knife carrying and knife crime and the police response to detecting and preventing it. The campaign, led by the National Police Chiefs Council, ran from Monday the 13th of May to Sunday the 19th of May and supported a wide strategy to remove dangerous weapons from the streets of Dorset and keep communities safe. Knife surrender bins were provided in Bournemouth, Poole and Weymouth police stations during the week of activity to encourage those who carry a knife to surrender them anonymously and safely without questions or repercussions. Some of the results from the week are as follows. There were 14 engagement events, there were 8 stop and searches, 6 weapons were seized, there were 6 test purchases, there were 3 surrender bins and there were 3 direct arrests over the course of the week. Chief Superintendent Heather Dixie, who's the local commander for Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole area of Dorset Police, said, "Dorset Police supports this national campaign wholeheartedly. Thankfully, knife crime in Dorset remains low, but one person carrying a knife is one too many. So we work with our partners through the year to keep knives out of the hands of young people. We've had a very proactive week raising awareness around the consequences of knife carrying and carrying out enforcement activities in our communities. Our aim has been to educate people about knife carrying and that it doesn't make you safer. The opposite, in fact, it can put you in danger. It is important to make clear that our efforts are not just restricted to campaign weeks. We are proactive all year round in endeavouring to educate the public, enforce the law and keep our communities safe. Dorset remains one of the safest places in the country to live and tackling knife crime remains a key priority for us. We will continue to use every available resource to combat knife crime and keep our neighbourhoods amongst the safest in the country." Now, of course, if you've got any information or concerns about someone carrying a knife, you can report it to Dorset Police, and you can do this online via the Dorset Police website, and it is dorset.police.uk/TUA. So that's dorset.police.uk/TUA. And of course, again, you can always contact Crime Stoppers if you wish to be anonymous on 0800 555 111. Now, Dorset Council recently celebrated the achievements of foster carers and supported lodgings carers at an annual award ceremony held in Dorchester. Attendees were recognised for the enormous difference they have made to the lives of children and young people by offering them safe and loving homes. The awards categories range from recognising long service through to the Pioneer Award, a special award recognising outstanding contribution to the health and happiness of Dorset's children and young people. Guests were treated to an evening of entertainment, food and fun raffle prizes, as well as hearing from engaging keynote speaker Luke Regis, who's the Chief Executive Officer of the Care Leaders. This year's Pioneer Award was given to Joe and Sam Wheeler for their achievements as foster carers and Mockingbird Home Hub carers. Not only do Joe and Sam Wheeler look after foster children in their family home alongside their own birth children, but they also provide support and sleepovers for foster families in their Mockingbird constellation. I don't know what the Mockingbird constellation is, but it sounds exciting, doesn't it? Amongst the awards issued on the night, the award recognised long service was presented to Jean Dorey. Jean has fostered for an impressive 51 years, helping numerous children and young people. Jean said, "My husband and I were like-minded people when we met and both worked in local schools. It was in these schools that we realised not all children are able to live in their birth families. This led to us to decide to foster. We decided to foster before we had a family, and over the years we have continued to do so with the love and support of our 4 sons. I lost my husband over 3 years ago and I've continued as a single carer. Fostering has been a way of life for us." Community groups, education settings and volunteer organisations can now apply for funding through their local alliance group, which works hard to make differences in local communities. Local alliance groups include members who have a vested interest in making a difference in the lives of children and families. There are 6 local alliance groups in Dorset, each representing a different geographical area. The groups agree on priorities and create plans to improve things for children and young people in their local area. In the last round of funding, 116 funding requests were approved, all with the aim of improving well-being of Dorset young people and children. Initiatives such as special educational needs and disability cooking classes in Ferndown, sensory room enhancements at Broadmain First School and St Mary's First School in Charmouth, and improvements to the Kingfisher Learning Centre have all been made possible through this funding. Councillor Claire Sutton, who's the Dorset Council Cabinet Member for Children's Services, Education and Skills, said, "We aspire for Dorset to be the best place for children, and this funding enables local groups across the county to initiate projects that bring us closer to that goal." There are various amounts of funding available. Individuals can apply for up to 5,000 in partnerships. 2 or more organisations, e.g. a school and a charity, can work together. Let's read that again. Individuals can apply for up to £5,000, and partnerships, where 2 organisations, e.g. a school and charity working together, can apply for up to £20,000. Applicants do not need to be an existing member of their local alliance group to apply. Now, for more information and to link up with your local alliance group, in the first instance, drop an email to this email address and they will put you in touch with your local alliance group, who will then be able to help you apply for those grants. And the email is bstcentral2, that's bstcentral2 at dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. bstcentral2 at dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. And finally, in the headlines this week, Wednesday the 15th of May saw the formal opening of the University Centre, Kingston Moorwood, with the cutting of the ribbon carried out by television Countryfile presenter Adam Henson. Joined by various guests from local land-based, industry-related businesses, Dorset Town Mayor and Mayoress Alistair Chisholm and Kate Hebditch, the Lord Lieutenant of Dorset, Angus Campbell, as well as a variety of staff, governors and students from Kingston Moorwood. The event showcased all that the new University Centre has to offer and included an inspirational talk from Adam himself. Guests heard all about the legacy of his farm, the changes his business has seen through the years, the importance of diversification and technology in the agricultural industry, and his emphasis on teaching everyone about where our food comes from, as well as educating the next generation of farmers. Principal and Chief Executive of Kingston Moorwood, Luke Rake, said, "A proud day for me as leader of Kingston Moorwood. Over the last 3 years, we've built a new higher education building, gained formal university centre status from the D of E, and validated a relationship with the Open University, the only land-based specialist college in the country to do so. Days such as these are moments to pause, reflect and celebrate a great team doing a great job." Now, University Centre Kingston Moorwood has a suite of higher education courses recently launched and available to start in September this year for aspiring young people and those looking to further their careers. There we go, and that's the end of our headlines this week. Now, next this week, our fire and rescue services are there to help us whenever and wherever something goes wrong. And they often need to work together to support each other across the emergency services, such as the fire brigade and ambulance service working together. Now, have you ever wondered what would happen if you were taken ill in a difficult place, such as when visiting a church and at the top of a tower or a steeple or spire? Well, Dorset and Wilts Fire and Rescue recently undertook an exercise at Salisbury Cathedral. The exercise was to perform a rescue from the spire of the cathedral. And as you know, it is, one of the tallest buildings in the area and very difficult to get to. So a multi-agency exercise using Dorset and Wiltshire Fire crews, an area ladder platform, technical rescue, the ambulance service and the hazardous area response team all recently happened at Salisbury Cathedral. And thanks to Dorset and Wilts Fire and Rescue, we're able to share some video of the rescue with you now.
Casualty rescued from tower of cathedral. Check.
There we go. I always find it very reassuring to know that we have got people out there with skills that whatever happens to us, they are there with the air ambulance, the fire brigade, the ambulance service, the hazardous area response team, that are those people in the ambulance service with all those extra skills to do climbing and abseiling, the RNLI and all those other services. It's absolutely wonderful that they are all there ready to help us when we need it. And thank you very much to Dorset and Wilts Fire and Rescue for sharing that video with us. Now, next in our programme today, the latest newsletter from Dorset Council is asking if 40 to 74-year-olds have had a health check from the NHS. Maybe you didn't even know that a free health check is available if you are between 40 and 74, and particularly if you have got any health problems. Now, an NHS health check is free. And it's there to check on your cardiovascular health and can spot early signs of diabetes, kidney disease, heart disease or stroke. Now, the following video from Public Health Dorset explains how you get invited to and what happens during one of these free health checks.
So a health check is an NHS initiative where we're trying to sort of catch things a bit sooner so we can probably focus more on prevention rather than treatment.
It is a fantastic exercise, and I can speak of first-hand evidence of patients who have had a health check, and the commonest things we notice are the patient's blood pressure is slightly raised, or patient might have a slightly high cholesterol, or sometimes we pick up diabetes and sometimes pre-diabetes. Health checks are for patients aged 40 to 74, and what GP practices will do is they will look at their patients who meet the criteria, who are on that list, and then they will contact them. Some GP surgeries will send out a letter which patients can then respond to. They may need to phone in, there may be a website that they can go to and book an appointment. Other GP surgeries might just send an email or an SMS message. There'll be a link that the patient can click on to directly book a patient.
So this isn't a 30-minute appointment with the GP, but it pretty much works the same way as any sort of consultation.
When a patient is invited for a health check, they will usually see a trained nurse who will conduct the health check. You will have your weight looked at, you will have your blood pressure checked, you will have a cholesterol check, you will have a check for diabetes. In essence, if you come for a health check and you're between 40 and 74 and you're well, we can tell you if you think you are as well as you are, and we can pick up any problems early on. If we can promote a healthy lifestyle, healthy living to patients, and we can work with patients to achieve that, then we're going to be having a healthier society going forward. We know the patient and we have a copy of their notes in front of us. We know what's gone before, we can look at their clinical record, we can ask about potentially any other minor issues that they've had in the past. A huge advantage is that if we identify a problem, they will sometimes come and speak to the doctor straight away. They'll walk down the corridor and they'll knock on their door and they'll say, "Oh, Dr. Oxley, I've seen this patient, I'm quite worried about their heart rate, their ECG, their heart tracing is not quite right. What do you think we should do?" And on occasion, we will end up seeing those patients there and then if it is a significant problem that needs sorting out. But most of the time, problems that are identified, we will deal with within 1 to 2 weeks afterwards.
I think the patients that do come in for these health checks, they're quite active in making these changes to their lifestyles, and that they do seem to see some real benefits from the health checks. So personally, I think it's a really good thing.
This is exactly the sort of thing that GPs and primary care should be involved with. We all know the famous saying, prevention is better than cure.
If you're aged between 40 and 74 years old and don't have a pre-existing cardiovascular illness, you're entitled to a free NHS health check. You should be invited for one every 5 years by your GP. For more information, visit the Public Health Dorset website.
There we go. So if you get that invite from your GP by text message, phone call or letter, then do respond, take up the advantage of that health check, as it might pick up something that needs looking at. And you may also be eligible for a community checkup if you haven't heard from your GP, and they are offered by Live Well Dorset. So if you go on to Google and you search for Live Well Dorset, and then you can look for health checks, community health checks on their website as well. Okay, it's time in the programme this week for our film review, and we go to our usual contributor Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to White Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This weekend sees the wide release of the Garfield movie, a new animated adventure comedy film based on the comic strip Garfield. The film stars Chris Pratt as the titular, sarcastic and lazy orange tabby cat. The film also stars Samuel L. Jackson, Hannah Waddingham, Ving Rhames and Nicholas Hoult. So the film revolves around Garfield being reunited with his long-lost father Vic, only for Garfield, his best friend Odie, who's a yellow beagle dog, and Vic to be being pulled into a dangerous high-stakes adventure. The film has been released early through preview screenings and such. There was a charity screening 2 weeks ago, and there was there's proper preview screenings last week. The film has so far been successful at the box office, but has received quite moderate reviews from critics, which isn't too strange with a film like this, because it's a kids' film. So I saw the film last weekend in a preview screening, and I thought the film was actually quite fun. It's not perfect. It feels a little baggy, but it's honestly just a fun popcorn film. Chris Pratt gives a good deadpan performance as Garfield. But in a film about Garfield, it was his best friend Odie that stole the show, as I found that whenever Odie was on screen, whatever he was doing was more interesting than what Garfield was doing, so I gave the film a weak 4 stars out of 5. This weekend also sees the release of Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, the 5th installment of the Mad Max franchise, and a spin-off and prequel to 2015's Mad Max Fury Road. The film stars Anya Taylor-Joy as Imperator Furiosa, a warrior who was abducted from her home as a child, but is forced to survive by serving warring warlords in the wastelands. The film also stars Chris Hemsworth as Dominatus, a warlord leader who abducted Furiosa as a child. The film will serve as an origin story to Furiosa, who was originally portrayed by Charlize Theron in Fury Road, and will connect to Fury Road with Tom Hardy's character Max, who was played by Mel Gibson in the original films, appearing in Furiosa but not played by Tom Hardy. The film premiered at the Cannes Film Festival earlier this month to positive reviews from critics who praised the film largely as a whole, particularly the acting of Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth, but there was some criticism of the film's visual effects and pacing. The film's in cinemas this weekend. I'm probably not going to watch it in cinema, so just be advised of that. But I will review it when it comes to home video, as I only recently watched Mad Max Fury Road. I hadn't seen any Mad Max films before, and Fury Road gave me a headache. It was so chaotic, it gave me a headache. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week for my review of Dune Part 2, coming to home video, as well as the home video release of Madam Web. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much there, Andrew. We'll be back with Andrew next week. It's now time in the programme to go over to the Met Office for the weekend weather forecast. And this week we are joined by Greg Dewhurst.
Hello there. Today's most likely going to be the best day overall for the bank holiday weekend, but not everywhere will see sunshine. And looking at the bigger picture for the next few days, low pressure is going to dominate. We'll see areas of rain pushing in, some showers as well. Some of these will be heavy and thundery, could lead to some local disruption through Sunday and perhaps into Monday as well. So let's look at the details for the rest of Saturday. We do have a weather system pushing into eastern parts of England, southeast England, seeing some outbreaks of rain here, so quite cool. But further west, the skies will brighten across parts of Wales, central southern England, into parts of Kent, northwards as well, Northern Ireland, western fringes of northern England and much of Scotland. Dry with sunny spells, 1 or 2 showers is possible here, but then later on parts of southwest Wales, Devon and Cornwall, the cloud will thicken, some patchy rain moving in too. If you are in the sunshine, temperatures rising into the high teens, possibly low 20s, around 22 Celsius for London. The UV also high, up around 6 or 7, so do put on sun cream if you are out enjoying the sunshine this afternoon. But it is cooler, some eastern parts of England under the cloud along the coast, for example, there 14 to 16 degrees, so on the chilly side, and turning fresher as well across the far southwest of England as the rain moves in. Through into the evening time, this frontal system pushes further north and eastwards, introducing rain into these southern parts of England and Wales. Rain also pushing northwards into northern England, Scotland as we head into the early hours. So generally, for most overnight, it will be cloudy, outbreaks of rain. Some of this will be heavy at times and it's turning a little breezy, particularly around the coast. But a mild night for everyone due to that cloud cover, temperatures remaining in double figures. It does mean a grey start for many, a damp start, outbreaks of rain for Sunday morning pushing its way northwards, but soon brightening up across southwest England. These brighter skies pushing northwards through the morning into the afternoon, but with low pressure in charge, the air is unstable. We'll see shower clouds developing quite widely across the UK. They could be heavy, thundery, some hail, some localised flooding is possible. So we have a Met Office warning for thunderstorms out through the afternoon into the evening, particularly across parts of England and Wales, seeing these showers, and they will be on the slow-moving side too. Rather cloudy though, Northern Ireland into parts of Scotland, Northern England, but a few heavy downpours possible too. And temperatures rather breezy around the coast. It will feel chillier compared to Saturday for most. Temperatures generally 17 to 19 Celsius, perhaps 20 or 21 degrees across the southeast, feeling a little less chilly for some eastern parts where we see the sunshine compared to Saturday at least. Into the evening time, those hefty showers will start to slowly fade away and into the early hours as well, leaving a legacy of patchy rain in places, particularly across the northern half of the UK, perhaps temperatures dipping into single figures to take us into Bank Holiday Monday. So brighter start, but we will see rain across parts of northern England, parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland too. And it's another day of sunny spells and showers generally across the country. Perhaps the heaviest of showers more focused across the eastern side of the UK, with western areas the showers becoming lighter as the day progresses, but further rain perhaps pushing in to the southwest later on, and still rather breezy around the coast, and temperatures again a little lower, so perhaps struggling to get up to around 20 Celsius. Elsewhere, most places around 16, 17 degrees. So if you are out on Monday, you may want a brolly and also an extra layer, as it will be on the fresh side in places. So the weather is mixed through the bank holiday weekend. There will be some warm spells of sunshine, but the risk of heavy thundery downpours developing through Sunday and perhaps into Monday as well. For more information on the weather where you are, you can follow us on our social media channels. See you again soon.
Thank you very much there to Greg, and I'm following the live weather radar pictures here in the studio, and I can tell you that that front that Greg mentioned is actually fast approaching Weymouth and Portland. There are some rain clouds over Weymouth and Portland at the moment, but there is some very heavy rain off towards Lyme Regis Way, heading in our direction, and I think it's only a matter of time before that hits us here in Weymouth and Portland. But looking at the weather this week, it's going to be, as Greg said, really a mix of warmer and sunny spells and showers, and the possibility of thunder and lightning storms throughout the week. So very, very exciting weather to look forward to. When we thought the weather had changed and we had some nice sunny weather, we're back to the wet and windy stuff, and some thunder and lightning by the looks of it as well. Oh dear. Hopefully we will see some summer soon. Time to move to our What's On section and to hear what is on in the area this weekend and in the weeks ahead. And we first of all start, as usual, with Weymouth Pavilion. We have got coming up Jurassic Musical Adventure. That's the 27th to the 29th of May this week. 1st of June, Take That Experience. 2nd of June, the McCartney Songbook. The 15th of June, Robert Lamberti presents Perfectly George. That's all about George Michael music. 20th of June, Big Girls Don't Cry. And Celine, My Heart Will Go On, 11th of July. Just a few of the many shows that are coming up at Weymouth Pavilion. And if you don't look at their website to see what's going on, I really do recommend it. For a local theatre, they have an absolute amazing array of shows. There is something every day, and some days there are two different things on, one in the Ocean Room and one in the Pavilion Theatre. So well worth a look. WeymouthPavilion.com is the website. Coming down to the Noath Fort at the moment and until the 2nd of June, Pirates of the Noath Fort, obviously tying in with the half-term week for schools. 3rd of June, the D-Day 80th Anniversary Exhibition starts. 6th of June, obviously, there will be their D-Day commemorations at the Nothe Fort. That is a ticketed event. You can get the tickets online. It's just so that they don't obviously have too many people at the fort that day. 3rd of August, Songs in the Summer with Wessex Musical Theatre. 15th of August, A Midsummer Night's Dream. And at the end of September, 29th of September, Pause for Thought. Again, do look at their website to get more information on those and other things coming up at the Nothe Fort at www.nothefort.org.uk. Now turning to Arts Reach, tomorrow 26th of May, Balkan and Yiddish Dance Workshop at Sturminster Newton. 7th of June, Rum Ragged at Broadmain Village Hall. 16th of June, Sherlock and Watson and Murder in the Garden, Winterbourne Stickland. 1st of August, Love Riot at Iverton Village Hall. 8th of August, the Story Day and Adventures in Storyland at Lytton Cheney Community Hall. More information on these and again lots of other performances throughout Dorset on the Arts Reach website at www.artsreach.co.uk. This weekend, it's been on today and it's on again tomorrow, you've got the Fair in the Square by Weymouth Rotary Club, raising funds for local charities. Tomorrow it will run from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's a free music festival. Lots of stalls there with food and things to eat and drink. All based around Hope Square. So that's tomorrow again. And then next weekend, Wessex Folk Festival. That's the 1st and 2nd of June. Again on the south side of Weymouth Harbour and in Hope Square. Lots of entertainment food stalls. Lots of local music, folk groups, etc. Stalls open at 10 a.m. and music runs from 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on both days. D-Day celebrations in Wyke Regis, an evening to remember D-Day 80, based around All Saints Church from 6 p.m. on Thursday the 6th of June. Beacon lighting, live music, fish and chip supper, D-Day documentary and church bells, and of course the beacon will light at 9:15 with all those other beacons around the UK. It is National Fish and Chip Day that day, so that's why we've got the fish and chip supper there. You can book your ticket online, including ordering your fish and chip supper, and I think there's choices of fish and chips, sausage and chips, pea fritter and chips. I think there's all sorts of things you can order online, and that is ordered online at www.parishofwykeregis.org.uk/events. If you want more information, you can contact Jeff Thomas on 07710 096 174. Church services in Wyke Regis this weekend. Tomorrow 8 o'clock communion at All Saints Church, 9:30 communion at All Saints Church, and 11 a.m. at St Edmund's Church. Our other programmes this weekend, tonight obviously our Saturday night quiz at 7:30 p.m. Free quiz for the whole community and whole family. As I say, absolutely free. Anybody is free to join. That runs every Saturday obviously. That will go live about 7:20. And we will be doing the May edition, running the May edition of A Year Gardening with Clive Gray tomorrow at 4 p.m. and repeated Friday at 7 p.m. if you'd like to see what Clive's up to in his garden and get some ideas for your garden this summertime. Now that brings us to the end of this week's programme. Thank you very much for joining me. If you've got any stories or any fundraising events or any other information for me here at whiteridges.tv, then drop us an email, and the email as ever is news@whiteridges.tv. That's news@whiteridges.tv. We would love to hear from you. I hope you have a good weekend. Remember, it's a bank holiday weekend, so we've got an extra day off work for those of us that work, and it is school half term, so if you're off with the family anywhere, do have a good week, and I look forward to being with you next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the bank holiday. Good night.